This second video introduces the different steps of the writing process, along with the basic structure of academic papers. Academic writing is a key component in the preparation of a bachelor's and master thesis or of any seminar paper. It is about bringing together on perhaps 10, 20 or 50 pages everything that has been worked out in the research process. In the end, it is the crystallization of what has been gained in terms of knowledge. And there are a couple of things to be considered that will make the difference afterwards, whether it is a good piece of work and whether it gives the readers insights or simply presents a list of facts. First of all, it's about choosing the right topic. This has to do not only with the excitement, the timeliness which lies in the choice of topic, but also with the relevance and the meaning that the topic radiates to the reader. In addition, the choice of topic to a certain extent also determines the breadth or narrowness of the subsequent investigation. And that is why this is, so to speak, the funnel that is opened up here, which is defined in advance in its width and depth. So choice of topic is important. The second point is then to focus, structure, and plan the writing process. What are the focal points? How do you organize the sequence of knowledge transfer? We will see some of the structures that are typically used later on. But the transfer of knowledge is a very crucial point in order to get your messages to the different recipients afterwards. This process should already be initiated in parallel to the research process. Not just writing something together at the end, but already during the research, during the execution of experiments, you can already think about how you want to prepare these things and which aspects should be given which space and importance in the piece of work. Again, in parallel with this, the literature. What do others write on this topic? How do other authors judge facts that interest me as an author? What is, so to speak, common knowledge? What are procedures that fit to this question? Here too there is a certain consensus in many disciplines, which should be grasped in order to be able to tie in with existing knowledge. And there is one thing you must bear in mind. Your work stands on shoulders, so to speak, and only there it is of value. If you cannot classify it, if it is not based on something else, if it does not contribute to established knowledge that already exists, then it is basically worthless. And that is why it is important to at least consider the customs of the respective discipline. You don't have to share everything, but at least you have to consider it. And finally, it is of course about revising these things, maybe even giving them to someone to read through, to complete, to correct. And also to be open to criticism before handing in such a piece of work or even publishing it. And that needs a certain mental setting in order to be able to complete such a process successfully. So, what does such a paper look like? Here you see two typical structures for a qualitative study and for a quantitative study. That does not always have to be the case, but these are standard structures as we find them frequently in the academic process, but also in the market research process and especially for bachelor and master thesis. First of all, it is a matter of laying out the basic problem. What is the issue you aim to solve? What is the business challenge? Typically, we then discuss the literature and derive hypotheses from it. These hypotheses are transferred, as you have already seen in the course of the lecture, into models, which are then stored with corresponding data and being evaluated. From these findings of the data analysis part, implications for market research for the business problem then arise. And here it is important to close ranks with the problem raised at the beginning. Again and again we see papers in which intriguing problems are discussed at the beginning, but completely different problems are solved in the end. And of course, this is not the intention of good reporting. The qualitative structure is similar, but certainly even stronger in terms of the approach. The discussion about interpretation and the way in which knowledge is generated here, because you are simply much freer and do not have this strict set of rules as in the quantitative area. So to sum up, take your time for the writing process, keep the target group, the reader, in mind, And always remember that your work does not float alone in the universe, but has to contribute to the existing knowledge.